City volunteers conduct disaster assessment after Batangas Province was struck by earthquakes. We look at how seniors in Taipei continue to learn and grow at the senior learning centers at 23 schools. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In the Philippines, 3 consecutive earthquakes struck Batangas Province on the night of April 4th. Many residential houses and schools were severely damaged, including 18 schools in Mabini City. Since 5,000 students in the city are unable to attend classes and many residents still live in fear, Tzu Chi volunteers recently conducted disaster assessment. On April 4th, 3 consecutive powerful earthquakes occurred near the diving resort, Mabini City of Batangas Province.
Of our instructional classroom,
in total, 12 classrooms in our school need to be repaired. Among them, 8 classrooms were severely damaged.
And need to be repaired. With major repair is 8. Then
Manila City, which is more than 130 kilometers away from the epicenter, also faced the most powerful 5.4 magnitude earthquake. Among the 21 schools in Mabini, 18 schools were greatly damaged. Tzu Chi volunteers reached out to conduct disaster assessment and found that 5,000 students were unable to attend classes.
When we return to Manila, we will hold a meeting to discuss this matter and provide suggestions about relief assistance.
The walls of many residential houses in this mountainous area were also cracked.
We were sleeping at the time. We were so frightened that we got up right away and rushed outside. I took my children to stay outside overnight.
It may increase their fear if the earthquake or aftershocks occur again.
Many local residents still feel anxious as over 40 aftershocks have occurred in this community. To make the quake victims feel at ease and help them get back on their feet soon, volunteers will continue to care for them and provide assistance during this difficult time.
In another disaster-related story, we turn to the United States. On the evening of April 11th, a 7-story apartment in Queens, New York caught fire. More than 30 fire engines and 200 firefighters responded to the scene. 112 households evacuated to temporary shelters. Tzu Chi volunteers and the Red Cross worked diligently to resettle the fire victims, providing food and spiritual support.
In Queens, a 7-story apartment building caught fire. The blaze raged for 4 hours before finally coming under control. Some 112 households had to be evacuated to a shelter, with some 400 people affected.
There was a young lady living in the apartment who came down and called to me. Otherwise, I didn't know a fire was taking place.
Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized for an emergency mobilization, helping the Red Cross settle fire survivors and distribute hot food.
We prepared 130 portions of rice, and the Red Cross also prepared lunch for these fire survivors, and we also had some Chinese fried rice, sandwiches, fruit, and juice.
When you're helping people, you know, there's a lot of energy and a lot of hands that go into that work. Where we come together and are stronger.
These helping hands are important to these fire survivors in their time of need. After registering all of those affected by the fire, Tzu Chi will issue them a stored value card to help them return to their normal life as soon as possible.
Everyone in this shelter has treated me very well. Thank God the situation isn't worse as we're still alive. Last year, Typhoon Merenti brought great damage to the Chukuvuli tribe in Taidong's Da'u Township, causing mud flows and landslides. Since many residential houses were severely damaged, the Taidong County government asked the Tzu Chi Foundation to help build permanent housing for local residents. Recently, a groundbreaking ceremony was held, and construction is expected to be completed before Mid-Autumn Festival this year.
Students from the Da'u Junior High School are given a variety of performances to welcome guests, as Tzu Chi Foundation is going to build permanent housing in the Chukuvuli tribe. A groundbreaking ceremony was held on April 12th.
个工程能够顺利圆满。
We hope this construction can be completed successfully so that our villagers can move and live in this safe and peaceful place as soon as possible.
然后可以在这边安居乐业的好地方。
47 permanent housing units will be built, which can accommodate a total of 158 residents. Safety is a high priority for this construction, as steel structure green building materials will be used, which also incorporates the culture of the Paiwan tribe.
We have the most rigorous standards for safety as we not only provide typhoon and earthquake-resistant structures, but also green building materials.
The construction is expected to be completed by Mid-Autumn Festival this year. With everyone's devotion and efforts, residents in this tribe can have a safe and comfortable place to live, to get back on their feet as soon as possible.
Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital and the world's largest Chinese umbilical cord bank in the United States, StemSite, signed a memorandum of cooperation to develop new medical technology. Both sides agreed to pursue research into how umbilical cord blood stem cells can help treat those who have suffered a stroke.
After the stroke, he spent most of his time in a wheelchair, and he couldn't even open his hands. After half a year, you can now see him actually walk.
These stroke patients suffering mobility issues have been working with Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's Dr. Lin, who has been transplanting stem cells, which have led some to experience a remarkable recovery in just 6 months. Now, cooperation with the U.S. company StemSite will potentially find new uses for umbilical cord blood stem cells.
We will provide umbilical cord blood and monocytes for these clinical trials.
Most of the stroke treatments in the past have simply been the intravenous injection of thrombolytic agents. The golden period for treatment lasts only 3 hours, and if there are complications related to cerebral hemorrhage, umbilical cord blood stem cell therapy allows the medical team more time to heal patients.
Injecting umbilical cord blood stems can make our immune system attack the injured part of the brain in a milder way with little inflammation. Secondly, it can release growth factors and speed up recovery.
After signing this memorandum of cooperation, Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital will assume the first phase of clinical trials using umbilical cord blood stem cells, potentially achieving a new medical milestone to benefit more patients.
In another medical story, we take a look at diabetes patients. Blood glucose testing machines are an essential item for diabetes patients. However, some 90% of patients only check their glucose levels once a day because of personal activities and diet. For these people, stabilizing their blood glucose can be difficult. Nevertheless, measuring blood glucose levels and taking proper medication is the only way these diabetes patients can coexist with the disease.
In Taiwan, nearly 2 million people suffer from diabetes. Mrs. He is one such individual, and after getting up every morning, the first thing she does is measure her blood sugar level.
Whether or not you eat, your blood glucose level can be high, so I don't know what to do.
The most common mistake for those that suffer from diabetes is that they only test their blood glucose levels once a day. Experts suggest that they should have a better means of tracking blood glucose levels. For example, they should have a more complete daily record, either testing before breakfast and dinner or before lunch and after dinner. Testing should occur twice a day, with changes to different testing plans every 3 months.
For some of the newly diagnosed diabetes patients, about 30 to 40%, if you look at their records, they only test in the morning before meals. They only do this testing in the morning before meals, as there's no way for them to accept the correct testing methodology. So this is why some say that testing doesn't really help them.
In fact, I feel very nervous, and I believe that many patients are like me. In my 7 years, I have been able to control it around 5.5, which is the same as normal people.
Now there is a free internet site for blood glucose monitoring. According to glucose levels, one can choose oral medication or a combination of oral medication and insulin injections as the best means of treatment. The key is daily testing to achieve the appropriate medication to coexist with this disease.
In Indonesia, 4-year-old Akilah suffered from viral meningitis at the age of 6 months, leading her brain to swell and leaving her unable to speak or walk. 3 years ago, Tzu Chi volunteers began to care for this young girl, sending milk powder and diapers to help reduce the financial burden of the family.
This is Akilah. At birth, she appears lovely and cute. Unexpectedly, at the age of 6 months, she was infected with viral meningitis and her brain swelled, leading her to suffer development problems. At the age of 4 years old, she still cannot speak or walk. There has been little joy in her childhood, and there have been huge medical expenses. In 2014, her mother took the initiative to contact Tzu Chi for help.
At the time, my friend needed an oxygen tank, and Tzu Chi offered this aid. I was at a hospital at that time, as we have lots of financial needs, and I asked Tzu Chi if I could apply for aid in the form of milk powder and diapers. I have been grateful for this help all the way until now.
Akilah's father only makes a monthly income of $250, and in addition to medical expenses, they must also pay the rent and the other children's education fees. Despite the economic hardship, this family does not complain, as they believe that Akilah is like a little treasure to them.
Every test comes with its own wisdom and meaning, as Akilah has taught me patience, faith, and the meaning of life.
This has made me more patient and stronger. I have faced this test and will not turn away from it, as it has made me more mature.
Tzu Chi volunteers visit every month and bring this family supplies and also give encouragement to this couple.
We just try to understand their situation and give them some comfort and care.
With the support and care of others, Akilah's family is continuing to move forward, as everyone is eagerly awaiting good news for this family.
An influx of refugees have been crossing the U.S.-Canada border to seek asylum. Currently, there are more than 40,000 refugees in Canada. Living in a foreign country presents many challenges to these refugees. Tzu Chi volunteers not only distributed supplies to refugees, but also held a gathering for these new immigrants. The U.S.-Canada border that stretches over 8,800 kilometers used to be quite peaceful. However, as the U.S. refugee intake system becomes overloaded, an increasing number of refugees cross the U.S.-Canada border to seek asylum in Canada. Tzu Chi volunteers have worked with the Canadian government and charities to distribute supplies to refugees.
Welcome to Canada. Okay, have a wonderful life here. Okay, enjoy. Okay.
Thanks.
Besides handing out supplies, the volunteers also accompany the refugees. For more than a year, they've accompanied some Syrian refugees who eventually obtained Canadian citizenship. Tzu Chi volunteers also hold a gathering at the Jingsi Hall in Toronto for these new immigrants. With the Middle Eastern music and dance, the attendees temporarily let go of their worries.
They have IDs and medical insurance. They have other rights, but they do not have friends. No one has helped them cross the urban jungles of Canada. That is what Tzu Chi volunteers will do for them.
We use 3 languages this time. First, we send the song in English, then they send it in Arabic, before we send it again in Chinese. I saw Syrian parents cry, and I was quite touched.
Mutual help is the mainstream value in Canada, and one family is a core value of Tzu Chi. With humanitarian spirit, Tzu Chi volunteers have welcomed the new immigrants with open arms. In 2015, the Taipei city government started to establish senior learning centers at different schools. People aged 50 or above can register for this program. Currently, a total of 23 schools have joined, providing nearly 100 courses for the participants to choose from. The Department of Health further plans to organize a special lunch gathering, where seniors and children at the school can enjoy lunch together.
Go! These elderly people aged 60 or above showcase their vitality as they practice Tai Chi at the Senior Learning Center at Songshan Elementary School. Some of them even grabs this chance to accompany their grandchild to school.
I feel so blessed because he accompanies me every day. I feel warmth and love.
It seems like I have returned to those school days. That helps keep us both physically and mentally healthy and also benefits the harmony of the family.
The Taipei city government started to establish the Senior Learning Center in 2015. Currently, a total of 23 schools have joined this program, providing 96 courses for the participants. This program aims to encourage seniors to interact more often with others.
We often say that school is the community and the community is the school. Since the school has become the center of the community, we hold a variety of activities for the seniors in this community, which can help reduce some social problems.
The Department of Education further plans to have children and seniors who attend the learning program enjoy lunch together, as well as to share their learning experiences. In the past, many schools only provided a venue for this program, but now they are joining this program, which brings everyone in the community closer together and makes the society more harmonious.
In another story related to seniors, we turn to Hualien in Taiwan. Tzu Chi volunteers recently held a singing contest at Zhu Borough in Hualien City. Local elderly residents who enjoy singing took part in the event. Since some of the seniors have mobility issues, Tzu Chi volunteers used 2 wheelchairs to bring them to the venue.
Tzu Chi volunteers lead these elderly in some fun activities. It is not easy for some elderly to come to the venue because of their mobility issues. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers prepare 2 wheelchairs to transport them.
The elderly who can't move freely can use the wheelchairs. When they are going up the stairs or a slope, it will be more convenient for them.
Zhu Borough and Tzu Chi jointly held a singing contest, allowing the elderly to demonstrate their singing skills.
The elderly in Zhu community love singing because songs from Tzu Chi are inspiring. They can lift up our spirits.
The score is not important, as the focus of this event is to let the elderly communicate and bond with each other and enjoy lives.
Next, we'll visit some humanitarian courses held in New Taipei City and Taipei, where media volunteers regularly share their personal experiences. The meetings are great learning opportunities.
To spread the knowledge of experience of senior volunteers to younger volunteers and keep Tzu Chi's humanitarian mission alive and strong, Tzu Chi branches regularly host sharing sessions like this one. Here at this meeting in New Taipei City is Li Fangwei, who is recounting her experiences in Shandong recently.
Like the sister said, we only have today. We can't assume anything about tomorrow. We have to act on our humanitarian mission today, just like the master says. Take every opportunity you have.
The Shuanghe Jingsi Hall in New Taipei City manages the basic courses for the Northern Taiwan Tzu Chi district. There are courses that offer practical knowledge as a way for Tzu Chi volunteers to support their communities and further the Foundation's humanitarian mission. Other aspects of the humanitarian courses involve organizing large-scale events and lessons on how to successfully mobilize and cooperate to complete activities successfully.
Hearing others' experiences, they are like a mirror for us. We can learn from them how to strengthen our own abilities.
We learn how to work together and cooperate. From hearing how the speaker has been deeply moved, we're all deeply moved ourselves.
Presenters emphasize that the stories are not simply to relate personal experiences, but also to transmit the Dharma and carry the spirit of Tzu Chi forward to the next generation.
The spirits of our mission is being transmitted to all the volunteers. Everything that one of us experiences becomes a part of our community, and this is a chance to drive and encourage each other, and to enrich the atmosphere we have here.
These meetings may seem like a small activity, but they are a crucial part of the Tzu Chi global mission.
In Medan of Indonesia, media volunteers also put in much effort at a large charity sale. 15 of them were there to take photos, videotape, and report on the event. Thanks to their work, Tzu Chi's events can be well documented.
50 media volunteers came to document this charity sale. 1 week before the event, they had coordinated their jobs.
We owe the development of media volunteers in Medan to the training by the volunteers in Jakarta.
Lukman has been a volunteer for 10 years. He studied hard, so he knows how to take good pictures of every moment.
After becoming a member of the media volunteers, I can join all kinds of Tzu Chi events such as charity, recycling, etc.
The group also includes rookie volunteers.
I'm really happy to be a media volunteer so I can enhance my sense of mission from all kinds of activities.
These media volunteers regard all the events with the same attitude because every event is a chance to gain and exchange experiences.
Next, we'll meet some students who are on the Sun Yat-sen University women's volleyball team in Kaohsiung. Many students face immense pressure to earn money while also studying, and for athletes, this can be a difficult situation. Thankfully, some local companies in Kaohsiung have decided to provide scholarships for student athletes.
This is the women's volleyball team at Sun Yat-sen University, who use their spare time to practice. Among them is student Jian Li Hua, who in addition to volleyball also maintains 3 part-time jobs.
We practice until 10 o'clock, then I usually shower at 11 and read a bit until midnight. Then I go to sleep and wake up again around 5:30 the next day to go to work.
Her days are divided into her 3 responsibilities of volleyball, schoolwork, and her jobs. She hardly experiences the leisurely life that most college students expect. However, as the eldest daughter in her family, she is used to shouldering responsibility. Another player on the team is Yang Zilin. In order to provide financial support for her family, she was prepared to give up volleyball despite her passion for the sport.
When I was in high school, I was just too tired to play and keep up with other students in regular lessons. I felt I was falling behind, and I was worried about my future. I felt I couldn't play volleyball forever.
For these students, the pressure to earn income to help their families can be immense, even forcing them to give up the things they love. However, fortunately, several businesses were willing to contribute scholarships so that they can continue to play volleyball.
During the winter and summer breaks, these students have no way to work to earn their tuition, so these businesses have offered to donate scholarships to take care of their tuition fees for 4 years.
With scholarships like these students are relieved of the pressure to earn an income and can instead focus their energies on their schooling and volleyball while working to make their future dreams a reality.
In the mountainous内门district of Kaohsiung, many seniors live by themselves in ancient houses. To bring some vitality to this community, a volunteer invited people to paint on the walls of these ancient houses, attracting visitors. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.